Hello, welcome back to underKG Show. This is Phil, and today we got Samsung Galaxy Note 10.1 2014 edition. I don't really like the naming 2014 edition, but I'm not gonna exactly bug about that. All right, let's start. There's a Samsung logo on the top, no receiver. It's a Wi-Fi only model, not meaning that 3G or LTE models got a receiver on there, but anyway. 10.1 inch of adult QXJ resolution display. This is an LCD panel instead of AMOLED. That's 2560 by 1600, and it's a pen tile mechanism. Menu home key and the back key there. On the right is a speaker. There's one on the other side as well to make it a pair, and the S Pen holder. Now the S Pen is actually flatter, so it fits in there whether upside down. It doesn't really have a side kind of thingy. And micro SD card slot over there, expandable to 64 gigabytes. On the left is another speaker right there to make a stereo, and 3.5mm headphone jack. On the top is a infrared port to make your device remote controller for your telly, and the power key volume rocker. That's pretty much it. On the bottom is a micro USB port. The Galaxy Note 3 had a USB 3.0, so I expected that in the Note as well, but unfortunately it doesn't. Well, it's at least better than that weird 30-pin proprietary Samsung port that they put on the Samsung tabs. So that's a good thing. There's an 8-megapixel camera, LED flash with the autofocus, Samsung logo, and those numbers of logos over there. So what we can notice over here is that it clearly has this design identity with the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 as well. It's got a kind of a family-looking design. On the back as well, on the front, those keys there, and the side, these lines are identical to those seen on the Galaxy Note 3. So that's a good thing. Unfortunately, the Galaxy Note 3 had this fake leather-likely kind of finish on the top, very smooth, but the Galaxy Note 10.1 doesn't. It's just a pure plastic with just leather-likely printed pattern. Not printed, but like pressed embossed pattern, whatever you want to call that. All right, let's get into the device. The device is actually very, very high spec. It's got an Exynos 5420 built in inside. That's a big little architecture octa-core processor with 3 gigabytes of RAM and this high resolution display and a very large capacity of 8,000, exceeding 8,000 milliamps of battery. Forgot the exact milliamps, but it's a very large battery built inside. But the weird thing right here is that it's not as snappy as I expected. Not only on the app drawer, but also on the launcher itself, it's laggy. The frame kind of drops. It's not significant like a low-spec devices like 2 to 3 years ago, but it really compares to the snappy operation that we've seen on the Galaxy Note 3. Of course, we can attribute this back to the high resolution nature of the Galaxy Note 10.1, but that ain't something that a final product consumer should care about. It's just, this was snappy, this is not. That's it, bottom line. So other than that, pulling down the notification bar kind of lags sometimes. It's fine now, but sometimes it's just got a frame drop on the top. And I still don't get why Samsung puts the notification bar of the Tab series into white compared to the black one that we see in the phone, which matches the whole color of the interface a lot better. All right, probably the most reason why you would get a Galaxy Note series in total is to use an S Note and to get the most out of this S Pen. So S Note is the app they included to use your S Pen, and the laggy part is actually the same in the S Note part, unfortunately. Let's say you add up a note, and it's not going to open until you wait for a second. And writing on the Note is actually pretty good because Samsung is now the manufacturer for the Wacom integration for the Android devices, well, actually any kind of devices in total. So they're good. Their new features like that were introduced on the Galaxy Note 3 is there, and I'm very glad to see them. Like cool features are still there, like say Galaxy, and then there's a transform function. You choose that and transform into text, and then it's gonna. You don't have to prove my bad handwriting, but anyways, these functions. And let's say you add up a note. These functions are cool, but what when you do a basic operation like adding up a note? Oh, frozen? No, give it a second and it's gonna be there. Let's say you delete a note, go there, delete a page, okay. Frozen? No, you give it a second and then it's gonna work. Okay, I wouldn't have been exactly complaining about this if I haven't seen the other notes, but Galaxy Note 3, although this is a very well-made device, so this is what I'm gonna compare it with. Let's say you add up a page. That wasn't that laggy, and you add up another page. That was snappy. You delete a page. Let's write something so we can distinguish two. You delete the page, and it's a lot snappier. So after seeing this, the performance of the S Note and the Galaxy Note 10.1 is actually pretty disappointing. Like the basic things like doing this air command thing that I really like. Okay, let's do it. Let's get a more closer look over there. So this over here has a smooth animation and it actually follows the sound of the click. But what about 10.1? It lags a lot. After it makes a sound and then it's gonna fold up as whatever thing that's air command thing is called. So these laggy kind of feature of the Galaxy Note 10.1, it really annoys you. It's not something big. It's not gonna really like makes you incredibly mad or anything, but it's something that annoys you and something that shouldn't really happen at the device at this price range, I think. So other than that, that was the laggy part. Other than that, this is actually a pretty high spec device, but the stereo speaker over here really made me expect a lot out of that, but not really. It's not that well performing. Sound is not exactly that great, so don't expect much of that. It's nowhere near the speakers of the iPads. And the battery, that 8-some thousand milliamps of battery isn't performing well. I was really surprised to see that much of a battery inside of a single tablet, but especially when you're drawing on it, and this tablet's trying really hard to distinguish whether it's your palm and your Wacom pen and everything, it sucks up the battery like hell. It just draws battery like incredibly fast. You can see the battery drawing. So don't expect too much on the battery. And the camera as well, it's got an 8-megapixel camera, and that's probably the highest camera that we see on a tablet, and don't expect too much. I'm glad that it's got an LED flash on that, but the photo quality isn't so great. Can we actually take a photo? Yeah, camera. No, we don't have an object. All right, object. Result isn't that great, so don't expect too much. And that's pretty much it. Everyday operation like browsing up the internet is actually fast because, you know, it's got after all, it does have that Exynos quad-core processor, but rotation and kind of things are kind of laggy. So overall lags are there like everywhere. So don't expect a snappy operation. Other than that, all right, let's get into the bottom line. The bottom line over here is that if you need a pen, if you need a Wacom pen and pen integration on your tablet or any kind of device, which is probably the only reason why you would get a Galaxy Note 10.1, you probably will be better off buying a cheaper version of the Galaxy Notes, like the Galaxy Note 8.1, 8.0, or Galaxy Note 3 even. Unless you definitely need a 10.1 inch of a device and a gigantic device. There's a rumor that the upcoming software update is going to make the whole performance faster and snappier. I'll be really glad to see that happen actually, but if that's not the case, then it's really going to be hard for me to recommend Galaxy Note 10.1 2014 over other tablets. Especially if you don't need a pen, don't even consider, don't even think about it. There are lots of better tablets in the market. Get one of them, and even if you need a pen, get a Note 8.0. That's probably going to be faster. Alrighty. So and one more thing that I want to pin out is that the buttons over here. I know why they put it over there. It's probably what people have been seeing on the Samsung Galaxies, and it's not a problem when you're using it landscape. But What if you're using it portrait? Just rotate. Okay, since the power key and the volume rocker is over here, it's natural to think that you would want to hold it like that when till the buttons actually block your palm and it starts to annoy you by pressing them by themselves. So you would try to switch it to the part that it doesn't have anything else than the camera. All right, then you will be free of the navigation keys, but then where your volume rocker and the power key is gonna be there. So it's actually not comfortable in any way to hold it portrait. So that's another problem. I know why they came with this, but they could have taken a better approach. So all of that dealt, it's not meeting my expectation. I know my expectations aren't that high enough. It's just an expectation to not see these kind of lags, and pulling down the notification bar lags. So I know that's not hard, and I know that Samsung can do it. So I hope they get better with the update. Unless they do, not exactly recommendable. And don't forget to tap on that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys later. Thank you always for watching. Bye.